Why, hello there, you 1 million Star Wars Outlaws fans. And I say that because, yes, Star Wars Outlaws has sold only 1 million copies. According to a new report, and this was reported by Forbes. It says, new report claims Star Wars Outlaws sold worse than you think. It then goes on to say the following: Ubisoft was expecting a big hit when it came to the release of Star Wars Outlaws. Instead, they found a game reviewing in the bottom half of all of its mainline titles and sales to match. A new report from Insider Gaming claims that the softer than expected sales Ubisoft has admitted to may translate to just 1 million copies in a month. This comes alongside the news of XDefiant's underperformance and a months-long delay of Assassin's Creed Shadows in 2025. So clearly, things are not going well for Ubisoft right now. And, with all that said, I'm going to focus on Star Wars Outlaws, though, in this video, because as you know, I reported on it, I played it at the event. I enjoyed the campaign, but I did give fair warning to everybody that this game did have issues when I played it before launch. She will drop these secondary weapons when getting on her speeder, when climbing ladders, hacking terminals, or even when jumping down from ledges. I gave feedback on this part of the game, and I'm hoping that the developers listen. So, what does this all mean for Star Wars Outlaws' future? Will the game be able to recover? And will the upcoming plans by Massive Entertainment even make a dent in the game's sales coming up? Now, here's my opinion on this. I think another question to ask is, whose fault is this? Who do we blame? Is it Massive Entertainment? Do we blame Ubisoft? Or do we blame Star Wars? Do we blame Lucasfilm Games? I'm going to say this right away, that if I was Lucasfilm Games and I approached the Massive team, the team who made The Division 1 and 2, that are known for co-op games, I would have had them make a co-op Star Wars game featuring outlaws that you can create, or maybe Mandalorians, or even clone troopers that you can go and create. And then you can go do missions, across the galaxy with all of your friends and collect weapons, collect bounties, and do all of that cool stuff. But they decided to take the opposite approach for some reason and create a single-player Star Wars game. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with single-player Star Wars games, but from the very beginning that this game was announced, I kept on saying it could have been so much more. It could have been a co-op game where you can play it with your friends. It could have had, features like the ability to create your own outlaw, collect awesome weapons, upgrade these weapons, maybe have multiple vehicles, have your own ship that you create and stuff like that. But it felt so limiting from the initial announcements of this game, and I was worried initially about this game. Now, again, I did enjoy many aspects of the single-player campaign, but even walking away from the event and then after playing the full campaign, I always felt like something was really missing from this game. And as I just said, it's the co-op experience. We cannot even create our own outlaws. We can't create our own ships. There's a lot of stuff missing from this game. Another big problem that I had with this game from the very beginning was the fact that Kay has a simple primary blaster, and she drops her secondary weapons whenever she gets on her speeder, or whenever she climbs a ladder, or whenever she does basically anything. It's so limiting for Kay to be dropping these weapons when there's such a vast open world and open galaxy where she should be able to carry these weapons with her, store them in her speeder or in her Trailblazer ship, and then upgrade these secondary weapons as well with attachments like scopes, magazines, and so on and so forth. So again, there's so much missed opportunity in this game. And I think a lot of people feel the same way about Star Wars Outlaws. I think we're all feeling this after playing this game. And, looking at this gameplay right here with Indy 5 and K, again, I do enjoy the characters. I love the different story elements in the game. I love little Nix as well, her little buddy there. So there's a lot of stuff that I do love about this game. I think the environments also look fantastic with Tashara. I think this planet looks absolutely amazing. So don't get me wrong, this game still has tons of potential in it, but I feel like they're not really capturing what we all really want, if that makes sense. I think a lot of Star Wars fans want to be able to go on adventures with their friends and family, in a co-op experience. I mean, after all, games like Helldivers 2, Warhammer franchise are taking off big time right now with their co-op experience. The co-op experience is definitely something people are really demanding right now, and it's surprising to me that Lucasfilm would approach the Division team, Massive Entertainment, and say, hey, can you make a single-player only game? That just really surprises me. And, that's one thing that always struck me as kind of odd from the very beginning. I remember just kind of being vocal about that on Twitter and on social media and talking about that quite a bit. The article then goes on to say this. It says, the million in a month number needs some context, of course. For reference, at the time, Assassin's Creed Odyssey was the biggest launch of that franchise with an estimated 1.4 million sales in 1 week, in the first week. Then Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the last mainline game, beat that record according to Ubisoft, and Far Cry 5 sold $310 million worth of copies in its release week. The original, The Division, sold $330 million, so multiplying 1 million copies of Outlaws in a month times $70, and that's $70 million, again, in 1 month. So that's some really good context there just to show you how badly Star Wars Outlaws has underperformed. And that goes back to my point that I don't think this is Massive's fault. And I don't even think this is Ubisoft's fault, because Ubisoft has had some major hits in their past, even though they're not doing well with X-Defiant and they're having some problems with this upcoming Assassin's Creed game by delaying it into 2025. I don't think it's Ubisoft's or Massive's fault. I really think this is on Star Wars, and I think Lucasfilm really needs to start taking some accountability, because right now it feels tone deaf to me on what they're doing, because they're not giving us what we want, right? A lot of fans are wanting really cool things, and we're just not getting it with Star Wars. We have to go to Helldivers 2 and Warhammer to get those really cool experiences. So let me know what you think about my opinion on this, and then also post your opinion in the comments down below. Do you think Star Wars Outlaws can recover? They did post this roadmap of upcoming updates. They have an update coming in October, this month on October 3rd, with bug fixes and improvements. Then they have another one coming up October 24th, which is Title Update 3, with quality of life improvements. And then in November, on November 21st, they have Story Pack 1 releasing, called Wildcard, featuring Lando. And then, of course, Title Update 4 will also be releasing on November 21st, which will focus on combat and stealth improvements, and then free additional contracts as well. So do you think this stuff will bring Outlaws back? If so, let me know in the comments down below. But I think it's going to take a lot to get players to come back into Star Wars Outlaws. So again, we'll see what happens. But, I did enjoy a lot of this game. There were moments I truly did enjoy. I don't want to just run down this game, but I could see this coming from a mile away with some stuff and how the game was being received from the get-go. So again, let me know what you think it would take for Star Wars Outlaws to come back into a successful atmosphere, if you will, if that makes sense. Well, I will see you all later. Take it easy.